So some strong developments there, but those caught up in that civil conflict may take a different view of Sri Lanka's economy. Much of that investment hasn't made its way to the north and east, where the war was predominantly fought. For more on this, I talked to Tasha Manoranjan, a lawyer who founded an organisation dedicated to human rights in Sri Lanka. I asked her what challenges the Tamil minority face daily.
Unfortunately, most of the war was really fought in the north and east, which are the traditional Tamil homelands. And so the Tamils there have really been most affected by this decades of conflict. And even today, given the pervasive level of militarization with, even one soldier for every 3 Tamil civilians in certain villages, you're seeing such a high level of militarization of the military presence, of the military taking Tamil lands and Tamil homes, and you're really seeing a people who can't survive without greater international intervention.
When we think of countries like Syria, for example, or Somalia, we see the economies collapse. Sri Lanka had a civil war, and yet it managed to keep its economy growing. Who do you think deserves the credit for that?
That can really be attributed to international actors who helped prop up the Sri Lankan regime, and I think it's reflected in how difficult the cost of living is, and how difficult it is for everyday citizens on the island. And so you're really seeing an economy that may be artificially inflated, and I think that's where a lot of resentment from the Sinhala side is directed against the Rajapaksa regime. But again, none of these benefits are really reflected in the experience of the Tamil community, because they're concerned much more about their livelihoods, about the military presence, about ongoing sexual assault, and it's really 2 entirely different narratives on the islands.
We're seeing a lot of investment coming into Sri Lanka, particularly by China. How is that changing the country?
You're really seeing this foreign aid coming in, being directed towards the south. And for example, President Rajapaksa's hometown is Hambantota, and you've seen a $1.5 billion port being built there. And this is a place that has essentially 10,000 people. So you've really seen the mismanagement of wealth under the Rajapaksa regime. And again, I think this has fueled some of the tension with the Sinhalese population and the Rajapaksa government. But I think the important issue to point out is that the wealth being driven in is entirely benefiting the Sinhala population, and there are so many restrictions on the north and east, even on the Tamil diaspora wanting to support livelihood projects, support the 90,000 war widows who lost family during the conflict. The Ministry of Defense requires every development project that goes on in the north and east to receive prior permission, and there's very much a climate of oppression and of obstacles on development happening in the north and east.
That was Tasha Manoranjan of People for Equality and Relief in Lanka. Well, we did ask the Sri Lankan government for an interview to comment on those points, but no one was available to talk to CCTV.